And as promised, I'm back. Welcome to the race broadcast of the Grand Prix of Europe via Singapore. We are live in Singapore. Quick look at the track map for you, just to get your bearings. Again, as previously mentioned in the qualifying broadcast, there is no Valencia track in the Race2Play system for R Factor, so somebody sponsored the race and got to pick this track. So this is where we're at. Let's go live quickly to the grid. Tristan Bayliss is on the pole for the race. Just 11 cars have shown up for the event, so we are a bit short-handed, but we'll hopefully try to keep things exciting for you. When it comes time for the race session, we will go through the qualifying grid. Okay, anyways. We have a second event steward that has become an administrator, so that must be the Kana. Standing start, use the launch control, and it's a formation lap, so should be an interesting event. Coming up, live on our GC1 TV. Next session.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
So we await the cars to enter the grid. Let's actually go on a track walk if we can. I should probably rethink these button selections. Very, very slow up the grid. Let's see. Can we get closer? No. Okay, so we'll just have to deal with this camera view for the time being. Back to Tristan Bayliss. Wow, that is a very shiny track surface. What is the track temperature? Track temperature at the moment, ambient temperature 67 degrees Fahrenheit, track temperature 71 degrees. It is a cold track. Let's be honest. Very shiny too. It's very shiny surface. It looks like it just rained. That's scary. So anyways, let's go through the running order, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? On pole for this event, Tristan Bayliss, 131 change. Alongside of him will be the first Apex Predator car, Darren Adams. They have a new paint scheme out this week. Unfortunately, I didn't see it in the skin pack. That might have been wrong, but if they do have a new skin pack, we'll show that next week. Mark Johnson is in third, starting the second row for, I forget whose team he's on. Second Apex Predator car, Heinz Petzold, current championship leader. Chris Carney is in 5th place, starting up row 3. Alongside of him will be Chris Hack in the Arnold Racing Braun GP car. Kevin Ransom in a Red Bull starts 7th. Alongside of him, newcomer Sebastian Bork. I believe this is his first race out here, so welcome to him. Paulo Neto in a Vodafone McLaren is in 9th place. Anthony James alongside of him in 10th. And the guy last on the grid is Neto Nascimento. Way down the running order. Why has the 107 rule not been applied here? I don't know. Anyways. Anyways. Technical difficulties. We'll say that. So here we go, lining up on the grid. There we go. There's the smooth line. I'm going to be bumping into everything here. And again, the grid lights are kind of goofy. There go the lights. Out they go. Pretty clean start for the most part. Somebody. Whoa! Darren Adams, where is this going wrong? That is in the 1-2-3 complex. Heinz Petzold gets a great jump off the start. He's going to be battling for the second position on the track, side by side with David Carney. A fast and furious, pun intended, start to this event. Tristan Bayless has managed to sneak out to a 2.3 second lead. Heinz Petzold has to give up the position, but what the heck happened on that start? My goodness gracious. Darren Adams and Kevin Ransom both went backwards. Darren Adams, sideways. We'll see in a minute what happened there. In the meantime, Christian Bayless moves through to David Carney, Heinz Petzold, Chris Hack, Sebastian Bork. Neto Nascimento did a pretty good start. Let's take a look at replay at Darren Adams' start. That's where we caught it. Replay. Oh, looks like Mark Johnson on the inside of him just flat lost it. Took out Darren Adams in the process just by old-fashioned laws of physics. That's in a bow spinning. Mark Johnson was able to grab hold of it real quick, but Darren Adams got the worst end of that incident. Probably got at least some rear end damage, I would have to imagine, with that kind of impact, having a car basically slammed to your inside. And Johnson as well. But he's going to stay out there. He's going to try Paulo Neto. Gets the position. Use up every little bit of that curb. Tristan Bayless has set sail for his own zip code. Meanwhile, David Carney, very racy today, but he's got the championship leader in his rear view mirror. Perhaps the change in the car track temperature has messed a few of these guys up. Why does Tristan Bayless's car sound different? That's weird. Probably got a few extra horsepower under the hood, I would imagine. Maybe he stuck a V10 in there. Never know. In the back, Sebastian Bork. Neto Nascimento. Whoa! Nascimento. Doesn't quite get it going. Whoa, 3 wide. That's not going to work. Just holds up the show. Ooh! Nails it. No change in the running order at this time, although this is about near the most exciting bit on the track. David Carney and Heinz Petzold, nose to tail, duking it out for the position. The race start time was at 8 p.m. for the track locals, so that is going to make things interesting. Track temperature could cool off as the night wears on, and that will present some interesting challenges for these teams. Typically, we run around, I would say 12 to 1 p.m. in-game time to most track specifications. That causes heat buildup very quickly. And it gets pretty darn slick at the end, I would imagine, but it's a bit different. As it gets later on in the night, it gets a little cooler. I mean, ambient temperature is already down to 66 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it's already down a couple. So teams are not going to get much help in terms of track temperature coming up to boost grip, assuming they are sliding around. However, the engines are going to love this cooler air. It's going to make a little more power and make the cars a little bit faster down the straights. Let's look for the next best battle. Not really this group right here. Ooh, it's a little Sparks from the Paulo Neto car. But he's got Mark Johnson right on his rear wing. This is the best spot on the track for a fight. Ooh, interesting selection of attack pattern, Mark. Goes to the inside. Can he get it to stick? Oh, car in front spun. Neto Nascimento has spun it on the front stretch. In the meantime, Mark Johnson to the inside in turn 1. Can't quite get it done. Woo! Boy! Stop all that blinking on the steam. Anyways, in the meantime, that was a very interesting selection of moments from Mark Johnson. Take a look at it in a minute on replay. Let's back it up now. Back it up minute in time, space-time rewind, I should say. Take a look at it on board from Mark Johnson's view. Here's this first pass. That didn't quite work out. That's a very narrow section of the track. It's pretty much one lane all the way through. Maybe not even a full lane. Gets to the inside over here on the last turn for the front stretch. There's Neto. There he went. And then an inside into turn 1 and 2. Very side by side, very dicey. That's about the most room you're going to have in the area. And he gets the pass done. Neto Nascimento out after an accident. Kevin Ransom down 1 lap already. Don't know what that is all about. Could be having to pit for damage on... Oh yeah, that's right. Lap 1 crash. Duh. Can't remember 5 minutes in the past, can you, Catch, huh? Anyways. Back to the front. Battle for second again. Carney and Hetzel. Into the chicane. Oh, Carney got it all wrong. Hines did it perfect, but he has to back way the heck up in order to not run into him. Darren Adams, fast lap of the race at the moment, minute 35.671, I believe it was. Ooh, Carney locks it up. Ooh, Hines got right on the curbing, and that was not the smart thing to do. Got them all squirrely. In the meantime, Tristan Bayless has set sail. He's got an 8.3 second gap at the moment to second, which we're on board with. Hines is falling back. Currently, Darren Adams is setting very quick laps. Resets fast lap a couple of times in a row at the moment, so he is really coming on strong very early on. Board, lots of sparks at the back of that one. He's currently 3 seconds adrift of the Chris Hack machine. But I imagine if he keeps resetting fast lap, he's going to be right up there real quick within the next couple or so laps. Let's compare notes. Chris Hack last lap was a minute 37. Darren Adams is already in a minute 35 last time. So be there in a minute, Chris. get on two wheels in there? Interesting. Still the same battle for second right here. Down to the front stretch. Hines seems to be able to catch up relatively quick, but he catches him at the wrong place, and he has to back off a little bit just to get enough room to make another go at it. These cars are very evenly matched. At the moment, right now, a mistake by either of them could set this battle adrift. Oh, Sebastian Borg's got Mark Johnson on his rear wing. Down into turn one. Mark makes that pass look a little bit easier than the last time. In the meantime, Darren Adams. Catching that Chris Hack. Right there. He's right there. On board, Darren Adams. But he runs into the same problem that Hines has run into. That's finding a place to get around, and it looks like actually I did miss it. Unfortunately, Hines did get around Carney for second. Let's take a look back at space-time, see if we can actually get this. Let's do the rewind thing. Where did Hines get him? Right about here. Just gets right up on the gearbox, pops out the pass on one of the long mid-straights, and basically just gets him out braking on the outside. Very impressive pass right there from the Apex Predator driver Heinz Petzold. Actually, I want to go back live. There you are. We're back live. David Carney locks it up. Whoa! Chris Hack. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey don't learn. Chris Hack loses it under braking, and that allows Darren Adams to sneak by with minimal trouble. Now David Carney is the next victim in the Darren Adams assault parade. Now let's take a look at the gaps. Christian Bayless last lap was a minute 36.042 compared to Hines, which is a minute 35.832. Looking, just based off of that lap, it looks like Tristan may have some company in a little while. It may be a while, but he'll get up there eventually. The gap actually expands slightly from 11.8 to 12 flat. Is that a little engine smoke I see out of Carney? No, he's just locking up the brakes left and right. He's probably not on the greatest compounds. Look at the chat, see who got the wrong. Yeah, David Carney said a while back he took the wrong tires, and he's locked into that tire selection for the race. So he's going to pay the price very quickly. In fact, just locking it up left and right. Darren Adams is right there. Just going to stay right there on his gearbox. He's probably going to try to make a move right here on the front stretch if he can remain in position, which he does. Or does he? No, he actually falls back a little bit. It's one of those. This track's one of those tricky places where you have to get your timings down perfect. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to catch up in the right spot. As we just saw there with Hines. All right, excuse me, Darren. I got the cars confused, but he's right there. But he can't quite get close enough to jump out and make a pass attempt. So he has to tuck back in. He gets him move here to the inside, takes the preferred line. Carney has no choice but to give up position. To move the Apex Predator boys to second and third in the running order. They still have to run down Tristan Bayless, who is actually still 12 seconds in front. And looking pretty sharp at the moment. Looking through the field, there is not much interesting going on. Besides this little battle right here. We've got Tristan Bayless up front. He's actually starting to get into the lap traffic. Oh, Tristan's pitting! What's this all about? It's only 10 laps in. What are you doing? Either way, he's pitting. I have no idea why. It's only 11 laps in unless he got... Did Tristan get caught out on the super softs? What is this? Or are the tires really that badly degrading in the cold temperatures? Either way, that promotes Heinz Petzold to the lead. His teammate's only 5 seconds back. Track temperature has remained stable at 74 degrees Fahrenheit. It is not building up any temperature whatsoever. Whoops. Whatsoever. Anyways. Did not need to look into the garage. I'd probably grab some tires and go out there, but I don't think y'all would appreciate that very much if I got in the way. Meanwhile, Tristan Bayless, just coming off pit road, gets the inside of Carney, gets the pass made, easy, fresh rubber. Probably, I want to say, softs or super softs. That would be a very interesting strategy to take on this circuit. Carney, look out! Chris X coming through. Something is badly amiss on that Chris Carney machine. Did he take... Ooh, he's taking damage. He has hit the wall a ton. Comes down to pit road. Will he be able to get this machine repaired? I want to say hopefully so. Pretty thin field out there tonight. He's going to lose a lot of positions because of that. Tristan Bayless, meanwhile, at the moment, has gotten around all of that carnage. Looks set to go back to the front. Chris Carney's come back up. Let's take a look back. Space-time rewind a minute ago. Let's see. Oh! Yeah, just locks up the front brake and pounds the outside wall with his right front tire. That's just basic front lockup, and it sent him into the fence. Chris Hack currently in 4th position, having a very excellent run of it. With Neto Nascimento crashing out, that leaves 10 cars still in the running order. That means that everybody on track is going to get points, which is a very opportune time. That's why you got to run every single race out here in Race2Play, missing one, you could be losing points in a hurry. Meantime, Christian Bayless with a loud car. Oh, somebody's going off somewhere. Nobody's down to pit. Something weird is going on with this Christian car. Don't know what he was thinking by pitting on lap 10. I don't know if he got like a puncture or something, or if it's just a case of he's on a really weird strategy. He only pitted on lap 10. And so I would be very concerned about this car at the moment. You remember the last round in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Christian Bayless got off to a flying start, but it turns out he forgot to put a couple extra gallons in the tank and thus ended up running out of fuel at the end. Have to wonder what the pit crew got to start disciplining. Probably very stern, I would think. I would be mad if I was because my team didn't fill the car up enough and can't refuel in the race. Silly. Anyways. Looking. Oh, hello, Chris Hack. Where's your front wing? Let's go on to look for Mark Johnson, who is floated off into the space-time continuum. Oh my. That is not good. Mark Johnson is most likely out of the running. Or is warping back and forth. Quick! Somebody call Earth 2! You got a stray Formula 1 car running around. Chris Hack has been running around without a front link for a while. His name's Mark Johnson. Let's see, where exactly does Mark... Oh, Mark just DNF'd. He went off into the space-time continuum right about... here? Creepy. Back live, Heinz Petzold. Out in front. Oh, Tristan's actually got it right there. While we were off investigating weird temporal anomalies, and I have somebody at the front door. That is a good sign. This door right here. And hopefully they won't make too much noise. Christian Bayless at the moment. Well, let's take a look at the past. Oh, hello, Aaron. You knocked off your front wing, too. So, it just goes to show that even the best have issues sometimes. Looks like he's going to get a fresh wing, and away he goes. So now we know what that mystery is all about. Didn't even need to use a scoop stick for that one. Anyways, moving right along. Heinz Petzold's just setting sail. So far, no mistakes out of this car quite yet. Anyways, Hopefully they won't bother the broadcast too much in the meantime. David Carney has managed to survive for the most part, stays third. Pretty consistent. Darren Adams has a new front wing. And he sets back sail again. He's about 50 seconds drift up the lead, but only 7 back of David Carney, so we'll see if he's able to catch up at all. Isn't that interesting how Christian's car sounds so much louder compared to everybody? I mean, it's just weird. Weird how he's able to do that. I don't know if it's just because the mod makers got beefed up the sound file a little bit, or I don't know. Anyways, carrying on. Take a look at the timing gap right here. 3.149 seconds is the difference between Heinz Petzold and Christian Bayless. We will get a battle for the lead momentarily. In the meantime, let's take a look at the running order as they stand now. Heinz Petzold is currently leading. As I mentioned, 3.149 seconds back to Christian Bayless. David Carney is 43 seconds adrift. Slight difference in time there, I would imagine. Darren Adams, 49 seconds back. Sebastian Morton, having a pretty good run so far, minute 5. We got Chris Hack, minute 14 away. Having a good run of it so far, looking to make a top 5. Paulo Neto's first car, 1 lap down, in 7th position. Anthony James, just behind him in 8th, also 1 lap down. Kevin Ransom, the only car 2 laps down in 9th. 2 victims so far of the Singapore night. Mark Johnson wound up in a wormhole somewhere. And Neto Nascimento spun it a couple of times and crashed out. Well, then you have that thing. Anyways. It is the Mad Scientist edition, as previously mentioned. So, what kind of mad scientist shenanigans can we get to in this thing? I wonder. There's Heinz. There's Christian. Nope, that's not the one I don't want to push. There's Bayless fast lap, minute 34.750. He's coming in a hurry, 2 seconds back. Get to the 1/3 point of the race momentarily. Currently on lap 18 of 60 for this Grand Prix event. You hear cars all around the circuit. There's a couple of places where it gets real close to each other, so you can sometimes hear the crossfeed. Like right there. Actually, the audio's big moved up at the moment, I noticed. Well, actually, Tristan's just that loud. I don't get it. Oh, mine's locked up. You can literally hear it. I mean, it's like Heinz is just driving around into the passenger sedan, and then all of a sudden here comes Tristan, and it's just 20 decibels higher. Good grief. Somebody send Connor down over there to the Christian Bayless pit, see what they're doing. Actually, I'm just going to cut my mic out from let y'all listen. alive. Meanwhile, Hines, he's definitely got company. He's got Christian Bayless all over the rear wing. Oh boy, this is crazy. Alright, let's see if I can get this to work right now. I am stealing you. I don't want to steal you like that. Whoa, Tristan Bayless side by side. Hi. I'm afraid to actually kick it up to Steve at the moment. Steve Taylor is wanting to come in here and chat a little bit, but right now he's up there with Connor and Tim, and I'm afraid to pull him down. That's very scary. Tim, if you can hear me, go ahead, toss him, please. Thank you. Okay, I guess I'll pull you. Fine. Alright, I pulled you down. So, Steve Taylor is now in the booth with us this evening.
Thank you, then.
Well, what you think so far of the action?
It's still a long way to go in this Grand Prix, and we don't have a very big field, unfortunately, and some early retirement. There are different strategies. Oops, Heinze and Tristan maybe had it coming together.
Yeah, just barely managed to get in on the nick of time. I mean, Tristan was right there on his rear wing, and he just pulled left turn, collide, and in comes Hines for his first pit stop. Noticed earlier that Tristan came in on lap 10 for a pit stop. A very interesting strategy. You know anything about what the difference of pitting 10 laps might be?
I did some lapping yesterday, and the softer tires were definitely a 3-stop. I don't know if it's going to be a 4-stop, but it seems that way if Tristan came in on 10. Although the tires are carried over from the qualifying session into the race, so I don't know, I can't quite recall how many laps he did in the qualifying stint. So that might have been had a part to play with his early pit stop as well.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. Tristan, I think, did abort a qualifying attempt. If he spun the tires at all, it's entirely possible that he might have had some excess wear on it, and he just wanted to come and make sure that it wasn't going to go pop on them somewhere, you know, far backstretch.
Yeah, as happened with Nibikani, actually.
Yep, but at the moment, pretty much pit stop since cycle through to the front. Tristan Bayless is now reassumed.
We've just lost Darren.
Oh, so we have. Must have been another incident for him going back in time, 60 seconds. Let's take a look on board with Darren, and we'll see what exactly happens here. Running through the replay, that is a very uncharacteristic off for the Apex guys. Looking to be 1, 2, or 3, maybe 4. We did reset the replay a little far back for this one. This happened just a few moments ago. Just waiting on the replay to catch up, and oh, it just flat loses it, nails the wall head on. Ow! That looked painful.
Yeah, it's a Monaco type track that if you do get it wrong, it can bite you really hard. And unfortunately, it happened, I think, Nascimento, and now it's Darren.
Yep, right there in the, I believe it was turn 5 or 6 left-handers, and that did a number on the suspension. So rare DNF for Darren Adams. I want to say they only had 1 so far all season.
I wish I could confirm. I don't recall.
Yeah, it's all right, but it's still a very very unusual incident to happen during the season. It is a very difficult track, very similar, like you said, in nature to Monaco or the Valencia track that they're actually running in real life. Christian Bayless, fast lap of the race, minute 34.679, so he is setting sail and charging hard. Still.
Yeah, Tristan is a real special talent. I mean, he's just amazing. His consistency and his speed is just unbelievable. Not only in this race, but throughout his career. He's just him. You know, there are a couple of guys at Race2Play, the Tristans, the Conor McCarrolls, and those guys that are just phenomenal. And I think he's found the groove in the sweet spot today, it looks like.
Indeed, very much so. He was making a mention of the pre-race, how excited he was for this track, that this track, it's even though it's relatively new to the Formula 1 circuit, it is very rough for a street circuit, and there's a lot of little bumps and grooves that if you hit them just right, you get quite a bit of time out of them, and it seems Tristan has figured out all of them.
Yeah. It's also offers a high level of grip. The track has an amazing high level of grip, and I think maybe that's got to do with the tyre wear, where the guys are coming in sooner than we expected.
Yeah, just tire wear is just falling off real quick.
We have some guys I've seen race before. Bork, I can't see what Bork's first name is, but he seems to be pretty consistent and doing a good job out there.
Yep.
And then we have a lot of our... Sorry, then please carry on.
Oh, sorry. No, you go ahead.
And then we have our guys well known to us, like Heinze and David Carney.
Yeah, David.
Real consistent guys. Yeah, he's a real good steady racer, and I respect him out there. He's always up at the sharp end and usually really consistent.
Very much so. And right now he's actually in third, a minute and 11 seconds back of Tristan, but still a very good run going for him, right up there on the podium.
Yeah, although I did see in pre-race that he said he went out in quali on the incorrect set of tyres. So I'm not sure whether he has to do an extra stop or whether he went out on the harder tyres, but he said he went out on the incorrect set of tyres. So.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards the harder compound, because I've noticed as he get early in the run, he was locking up left and right all over the place, and that was that's usually more consistent with a harder compound tire than a softer one that you can really get going on it quicker in earlier lap sessions.
Well, whatever he's chosen, he has to stick with throughout the race. He can't change the compound, so we'll see. If he pits before lap 30, we'll know it's soft, and if he doesn't, it's probably hard. He's already done one pit stop. I think it was on lap 10. He had a puncture. I didn't quite see how he got the puncture, but if you tagged it was tire wear, so.
Yeah, I think earlier he underneath the grandstands he popped the wall on the right side, and it cut a hole in the right front, or it knocked it askew, requiring him to come down pits. So he's probably, I'm going to say, good to go to about lap 45, 50 on this set of tires, assuming he's on, you know, a harder compound, like you think maybe a medium.
Yeah, that could be. I see Chris Hack from R&M Racing is going a lap down, which is interesting.
That car's let me say it's a little bit off pace. Can't see any visible signs of damage.
Chris had an off earlier on in the a couple of laps ago. 10 laps or so ago, so he's kind of out of position with the pit stop and the repairs he had to take.
Probably so, probably so.
Chris is a great sign for us at R&M Racing because he's really consistent, keeps a cool head, and a really nice guy to chat with and to do the practice laps with. Entertaining.
Very good, very good. Interesting. Yep, with Chris Hack going 1 lap down, actually, that leaves just the podium on the lead wall. Tristan Bayless still out in front after recycling through the pit stops. Heinz Petzold second. Just 18 seconds back, but that gap has been steadily climbing. Except right there, Heinz setting fast lap a couple of minutes ago, minute 34.557. David Carney in third, we were just talking about him. Still a minute 11 back. And then Chris Hack in fourth is the first car 1 lap down. Fifth place, newcomer Sebastian Bork is in fifth. Doing a pretty good job of it so far, I think, for a debut.
Yeah, Sebastian seems to be up there with his pace. I mean, he's run a best lap of 38.5. So they're all around 37s, 38s until we get to Dave Carney, Heinz, and Tristan, who are managed to get it in the 34s. And that kind of leads me to believe that maybe they're on a different compound of tyre, the softer tyre.
Probably so.
Tristan's getting ready to pit. His pit crew's coming out at the moment, and we expect him at the end of this lap. Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah,
and here he
goes.
comes. Here comes Tristan for his second stop of the race. This comes on lap 27. It's just shy of halfway through. So I'm wanting to say Tristan might be on the super softs for this one.
All four stopping, yeah.
He's
Well,
up.
it's going to be close with him and Heinz.
Very
Heinz
close.
has got it, I think.
Yep, it just comes out, and there goes Heinz. So Heinz Petzold back into the lead for the time being, but Tristan's going to be on fresh rubber, and he's going to be charging hard. Just a handful of seconds in between him and Heinz. We can look at that momentarily. Meanwhile, going back to the running order, Anthony James is in 6th place. Currently 1 lap down. Paulo Neto is in 7th, currently at the tail end of the 1 lap down group. We've got Kevin Ransom, who is 3 laps back in 8th. Then you've got the car park. Darren Adams crashing out a few minutes ago in 9th position. Mark Johnson got caught up in a wormhole somehow out there. He's probably running around Earth 2, I would imagine. Running away from crazy stuff. And then Neto Nascimento crashed a while back. He's last. Tristan Bayless, meanwhile, has cut the lead down from 1 second to point. Well, actually 7/10 of a second. He's coming up quick and looking to make a pass soon.
I'm talking about Paulo Neto. He's also a really consistent guy out there. I think he's had a couple of incidents today.
Oh yeah, he just goes 2 laps down and gets almost got caught up with the leaders. That would have been a very unpleasant incident, but that just puts Tristan right on the rear gearbox of Heinz Petzold. They're on it.
They certainly are. You know, it's so difficult to drive tracks like this. There's just no room for error. You know, you're racing at such close quarters at the speed. These guys are really good to be able to second guess the other guy's moves and avoid the rules at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much all day it's been when you catch up with the car. Well, actually, Tristan's right there. It's just you catch him at a bad time and you have to back off a little bit. But Tristan, full on attack mode. No punt about it. Oh, Heinz slideways off the exit of the corner. That allows Tristan to pull. Well, not quite. Tristan couldn't quite get the draft going and has to settle back into position for the time being.
Yeah, that little straight that they were just on there, you kind of just hit 7th gear before you have to gear down again to the right-hander at the end of the straight. So it doesn't really give you enough time to use the legs of the car in the draft.
Very much so. coming down onto the front stretch. Can Christian catch up here? Not quite. Hines gets it a little better, but I think it's this 1-2-3 complex that Christian's so good at with fresh tires. That gets right up there.
Yeah, Tristan's got to get really into position from now to give Kaviozi real only overtaking chances down this next straight. And I think it's a little far back, to be honest.
Yep, you pretty much have to plan these moves out 2, maybe even 3 laps in advance how you want to do it. But at the same time, you want to stay close enough to where if the guy makes a mistake, you can be there to take advantage of it. You don't get to give him a freebie like you just did a couple of moments ago when Hines lit up the rear tires. Oh, he's right there, he's right there. Tried to make the move, but up onto the bridge, but couldn't quite get it done. Has to go back in line.
Yeah, I think his only real chance, unless Hines makes an error, will be in that long straight. Hines seems to look up the last corner really well as well.
Yep.
So
he's dogging him right now, coming through to the stand. He's got to stay close right here to be able to make a run. Not too close. Has to sit and wait on it a little bit. That allows Hines to get away momentarily.
yeah, Hines he hooks those last set of corners up just so well.
And that's going to be the key section right there, because if you're good in those last corners, you can hold off any last lap charge. We are halfway through this event.
Tristan looks good, yeah. But Hines gets the power down so well.
Staying pretty cool under pressure. Tristan ran a little bit wide in that last corner. He went sideways, I want to say. That allows Hines just to get a little bit of advantage. A rare battle around this track. Here's where Tristan almost got him this last lap on the bridge. Right up on the gearbox. He has to sit and wait. Allows Hines to get away again. Although Tristan can make a move right here, doesn't quite get there. And the wacky beat goes on.
Yeah, Tristan has the patience of Job, really. I mean, he will sit there all day if he has to. He's really calculates it and times things so well.
Very much so, and I'll give you the converse point. There, Hines Petzold is very, very difficult guy to intimidate just by riding on the gearbox. Tristan's right there. Ooh! Did he hit the wall right there?
No, he just had a bit of a washout, maybe coming out the draft of Hines, just making his car a little unstable. Yeah, Hines is an amazing racer. I mean, he's an old campaigner. He's done I don't know how many hundreds of races here. I recall him having seen just not recently, a couple of months back, he had a 50th win. And
he's right. Tristan's right there. Tristan's right there. He got the run. He got the run and clears him going into the corner. Just to, like we were saying, he set that pass up where he wanted to make it and got the run he needed to dive to the inside, take the position.
Yeah, we just asked ourselves how many laps did that take after his tire change. I didn't actually time it, because for every lap he was behind Heinze there on his new tires, advantage Heinz. So if Heinz can just keep the gap more or less below 17 seconds, as we saw, he should come out ahead after the next round of stops again. So this is the time of the Grand Prix where the tactics come into it more than the sheer speed.
Very much so, very much so. Looking to be about a 17 to 20 lap window for Tristan Bayless, judging by the difference between his first stop and his second stop, and then Hines only having to make one stop so far, I believe, in lap, somewhere in the lap 20s area. So very possible that we could see them coming into pits right around the same time for their final stops. I want to say around lap 45, 50. Lap car slow to the inside that looks to be Chris Hack. Just goes one lap down again.
Yeah, Chris is a very observant driver and very alert. He got well out the way there, which is not quite easy to do on a track like this. But he's very alert and very conscious of his surrounds while racing. Always comfortable to share the track with guys like that.
Indeed. Let's quickly set the running order. Tristan has managed to take the lead. 1.4 seconds back is Hines. David Carney still lurks back there, ready to strike if the front two mess up a least bit. Just 53 seconds back. The aforementioned Chris Hack is in 4th. Sebastian Bork 5th. Anthony James is in 6th. Still plugging away right there. He's got Tristan right there. Manages to get through minimal problems. And here comes Anthony James to the pits as he goes 2 laps down. Although Neto's 7th in Vodafone McLaren. Kevin Ransom still hanging out back there, and that is all in terms of people still surviving.
Yeah, it's nice to see Kevin out on track. He's an awesome racer as well. Also very consistent and right up there with his times. I think he was one of the guys that had found some trouble in the first set of bends, if I recall.
Yeah, he got I think he had a rear lockup on the opening start, and he slid sideways right into the rear of Darren Adams, and that probably caused some significant suspension damage, requiring a long repair time. That's why he's 3 laps down. Still got the pace, as you mentioned, but with that poor stop, actually Kevin's going to come in for his next stop.
Yeah, he's run a 57.2 best lap. And I mean, that's right up there with the time that Chris Hack's doing in 4th.
So he's still doing pretty good, even though he's way back there. Just wants to hang on, try to get a good finish. If anybody else falls out, he'll probably scoop up that position, say thank you very much, and carry right along.
Yeah, as with all the campaigners out here, the guys that have been around for a while, they know it's not won or lost in the first laps, and they're very calculating. A guy like Kevin's making his calculations, and he knows that there's a fair chance of improving his position before the end of the race.
Indeed, very much so. Tristan Bayless just ran fast lap 133.886. That is the first time I see at the moment that's in the minute 33, so Tristan Bayless still able to set very quick times as the fuel load burns off. The gap between him and Hines is 2 seconds flat.
Yeah, Hines is doing a good job of minimizing that the rate that Tristan's putting away, I will say.
It's a very fine balancing act. He's got to keep Tristan within, I believe he said 18 seconds, but at the same time he can't push too hard or he'll burn off what's left of his tires and lose that gap.
Yeah, or find himself in the wall, as where Darren Adams did. We just made a big lockup going into the right. He doesn't seem to lose any time of it. Couple of tenths.
Yep, a 10th here, a 10th there, and pretty soon you're a full minute back.
As we see.
Oh, Hines loses it underneath the grandstands. Both ends of the car take damage. Oh, wait a second, just a moment ago. Now the front.
That was just about it. Yeah, you had such a fine balancing act between doing your best possible times and being safe.
And it just looks like right there, he just flat lost it. He's going to have to spend some significant time in the pits for repairs, and that might promote David Carney to second there on the grid.
Dave Carty's going to make a pit stop at the end of this lap. And I think that's spread out enough for him to be able to comfortably come out in front of Chris.
Ooh, okay, gotcha. So we'll have to see right here. Hines just comes out right now.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of really spread the field.
It's going to spread the field thin, but it's still a very, very long way to go. Just 36 laps have been completed so far. Or actually, we're on lap 36. We've completed 35. So still plenty of time for Tristan to make a goof here. He is an alien, but he's not infallible to mistakes, as we saw last round in the Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah, Tristan's your alien from another universe. He's just incredible.
Very excellent driver. Does a little bit of real-world autocross, if I hear correctly, and does very well at that too.
He's one of these talented gentlemen, I suppose, that I don't know whether David has passed pit lane yet or not, but I expect him to come in after this lap, or at the end of this lap. David Carney.
Yeah, we'll see. He's just hanging out there so far.
Chris Sack's 47 seconds back on him, so he's not going to be able to put any pressure on David.
Yep, but it depends. I mean, David's been out there a while on this set of tires. Looks like
yeah, he's
maybe
coming in
right
now.
here he comes in. This may be his one and only stop. So if he's on a harder tire, as we suspect he is, he may have a hard time trying to keep up with Chris Hack if Chris Hack manages to close in.
I think Chris has another stop as well. So he had wing damage earlier on in the Grand Prix, and I'm sure he'll have to stop again. But then again, it's a guess. I don't really know.
Yep, I would suspect that he is. Chris has been on the same strategy, I bet, as Hines is at the moment, but we'll have to see. Still a long way to go.
I think Chris will come in at the end of this lap for what could be his last stop.
Let's see. In the meantime, let's take a look at the ambient and track temperatures. Ambient temperature is down to 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and track temperature has gone down to 72 degrees. So the track is giving up a little bit of heat with so few cars running. What could that possibly do to these guys as they circulate around the track?
I don't know whether that plays such a big role, although it must have some kind of effect, but this track is so grippy, I don't think whatever effect it does have, it will have very minimal effect over here.
Quite possibly so on the track temperature. I would imagine as the ambient temperature goes down, the engines would like it, though. If it gets cooler, they get a little more power.
Certainly, and a little bit more longevity, which is more important. You know, to make it to the end is the main thing. Thereafter is your position.
Gotcha. Let's see, waiting on Chris Hack. Gonna come in this time? Nope, he's got a couple of corners to go.
Yeah, he should come in now, I reckon.
Right on the money. Here comes Chris Hack down pits. He's currently in fourth, one lap down.
And he's got way enough time over Sebastian to take it easy and just make sure everything's sound before he mashes the pedal.
Yep. Well, actually, there goes Hines, so...
I actually put a lap on Chris. Yeah.
Yep. Well, Tristan to the inside of Paulo Neto to put Paulo 3 laps down.
The gap between Tristan and Hines is more or less 39 seconds, and it's been like that for a while.
So it's very possible that after the pit stop of Hines, he's managed to stabilize it, although it's just ticked up to the 41-second bracket as Hines, or Tristan went through sector 2 time and trial, I think it was.
Yeah, it's more or less consistent on my timing screens. 39.5 in real time. Although Heinz has got traffic to deal with now, Anthony James is just in front of him. Anthony's also a great campaigner. He loves his Formula One. He's a great supporter of it, and he's a really consistent finisher. He's doing pretty damn good in the championship.
Yep.
Through being consistent, and that's what you look for mostly. The great awareness he gets out of Heinz's way, and releases Heinz to try to catch Tristan, which the gap is now 40 seconds on the button.
Yep. Right on the dot, and actually climbs back up to 41 seconds. Yeah, getting back to Anthony James, he's pretty much been there through every single round. He's not the fastest guy out there, but just through being able to click off the consistent laps, making minimal errors, he's been able to be there at the end for most of these events. Not able to contend for a win, but getting way up there in the championship standings.
Yeah, and it's the name of the game. Your consistency and showing up for the events. You know, that's what it's about. With the level of competition we have here, you can't afford to miss a race. If you miss a race, you're out that prize money that's on offer.
Oh yes, yes. This is it's funny you should mention that. This is a pro level series at Race2Play, and that's a new feature of this season. Actual cash prizes being awarded at the end for the champions.
Yeah, the first round of cash prizes for the season ended in, I think this month, sometime in June. In other series, they've been paid out, or in the process of being paid out. And I've been looking at what some of the guys are going to be taking home, or have taken home. And it's quite substantial, in my opinion. You know, it will at least cover the fees for racing, and I think it's a great incentive offered by Race2Play.
Very much so, very much so. If you're able to finish in the money, I mean, a couple of weeks of hard work and put into running each and every event, you finish high enough, you can certainly reap the benefits of a basic membership here at Race2Play.
Yeah, Anthony showed great awareness again, making space for Chris in a very sensible spot, a very sensible place.
Very much so. Just plugging along right there. Currently working on a 6th place run is Anthony James. Still 2 laps back, but as we said, it doesn't matter where you're at in the field. If you're able to consistently stay going on the track, you are in position for a good run. And he's certainly proven that to be the case tonight. In the meantime, back up front, Heinz Petzold still in 2nd position, 42.8 seconds back of Tristan Bayless. That gap slowly expanding as Tristan Bayless has been clicking off 33 laps, 33 second laps every now and then. A couple of minute 34s and minute 35s, but been a very good run so far for both of those guys. Tristan. Speaking of consistency, he's been one of the quickest guys out here on the circuit, but he's missed a couple of rounds in the championship, so he's way back in the points. Have to wonder if he got a chance to start the first round of the season, the Australian Grand Prix, where he might be in the point standings.
Yes, I'm not sure how many races just was competed in, but he had a fuel calculation error. I think it was the last round, which saw him missing out on a win and a bunch of points. And you know, that really hurts your confidence in a field with the likes of Heinz and Darren and all the guys. Really, you can't afford to make mistakes like that. Otherwise, you know, you're not going to get a chance to come back at them.
Yep, very much so. I believe he's missed 2 races so far. He missed the opening round, as we previously mentioned. Had some computer glitches happen to him, and that forced him out. And then I think he missed another race because he got a chance of a lifetime to go to the old Nürburgring Nordschleife, run around there. That's one thing you definitely want to cross off your bucket list if you get a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. That must have been a hoot. I'm surprised to see that Kevin Brigden hasn't made it to the grid today, because he was signed up at one stage. Yeah, it's Tristan's partner, or a teammate, and he's also one of those guys who are just an incredible racer, great consistency, and a person that you know you can't make a mistake with, because you're not going to pass him if you manage to be ahead of him. Really consistent driver, and pretty well versed in his racecraft.
Indeed. Yeah, have to wonder what happened. But hey, real life happens. So hope he's doing all right. In the meantime, the gap is still climbing for Heinz. Tristan Bayless has still been able to, for the most part, click off. He's clicked off 3 laps within the minute 33 bracket in a row, and I don't believe Heinz at all has been visiting the 33 bracket. Doesn't even look like it. His quickest lap at the moment is a minute 34.42. You have to wonder if the damage he sustained in his prior collision with the wall has hurt the performance of that Apex Predator machine any.
Either that, or Heinz has said to himself, look here, it's Tristan Bayless in front of me, I've made a mistake, and in all likelihood Tristan's not going to. Let me just drive it fast, but drive it safely. That's probably Heinz's attitude right now. But he'll be pushing all the time. He's a racer. He wants to win it, and I just think maybe he's taking it a little easier than he can.
Yep, right now, as we saw in the opening show, it's pretty much a 2-man battle in the championship between Heinz and his teammate Darren Adams, and with Darren Adams going out earlier in a collision in 9th place, I would imagine that, you know, don't necessarily need to worry about a win. You just have to make sure that you get to the end and collect as many points as possible.
Yeah, Tristan's just pit, and he's come out 27 seconds, 28 seconds in front of Heinz now. So I would imagine Tristan would have another stop to make, and probably Heinz as well.
I'm figuring that the window for the final pit stop is opening up now for both of these guys, since they seem to be able to pit in about 20 laps after their prior stop, although Tristan's off cycle just a little bit. He first made it around lap 10, and then Heinz came in a while later in lap 20th. You have to figure for a mid-round run in the last third of this race, 15 laps to go, probably now would be a great time to get into the pits and grab some fresh rubber.
Yeah, I'm expecting David Carney to come in again. Although his first stop he made was due to damage, so I'm not entirely sure. By the time he's run, I mean, David's run a 33.1, which is the fastest lap out there. You know, just, I don't know if he's on soft rubber or whether he's got that engine boosted up a bit, or...
He probably boosted it up, but he just ran fast lap. Minute 33.132 for David Carney. Very quick time through the circuit. Tristan Bayless has suddenly slowed way down. A couple of minute 40s for him. Minute 41 flat 2 laps ago, just most recently, a minute 44.432. The gap all of a sudden is down to 30 seconds between him and Hines. Did you say he came down pit road just most recently?
Yes, just made a stop.
Okay, so it's just most likely a case of he's still getting the tires up to speed and looking to make a charge at the end. 45 laps have been completed in the 60-lap event. We are in the last 15 laps. Right now.
He doesn't, Tristan, sorry, Glenn, I was just going to say, Tristan doesn't seem to be short-shifting, so it can't be fuel or anything. I think it was just maybe the result of the pit stop.
Yep, most likely. Yep, not as much panic in the pits for him, instead of what happened to him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be ending this race with a little bit more fuel than he would need.
Very much
as
so.
As I say in Ireland, to be sure.
Very much so. Don't want to repeat that embarrassment from last week. But anyways, moving right along. So far, nothing's really changed around the place. Still pretty much the same cast of characters, you know, circulating around the track.
And about this time of the race, when your eyes start glazing over a little, though, so the concentration levels, you need to wake yourself up and be sure that you're focusing properly. I find when I'm doing the longer races, I kind of doze off almost from the monotony of the corners, especially if you're not in any battling with somebody close. So you need to keep yourself alert. And over here, as we've seen, one can't afford to make mistakes. There's walls on either side of you.
Yep. And just that briefest lap in concentration could easily mess your race up around this place. In the meantime, let's look at the times behind, still hovering around the minute 34, minute 5 area. Christian just ran a minute 32.941. Absolutely insane how quickly he's able to get that thing up to speed.
Yeah, he's got some fresh run under him now, and he's doing what the car can offer.
Very much so, and it is offering him quite a bit.
I've raced this mod in the series in the opening 3 or 4 Grand Prix, and I will say the guys at the FSR have got an awesome package together here. It's how I would imagine a real Formula 1 car would react and feel. It's really spectacular.
It is quite a bit. I've driven it a little bit myself, not near to the level that these guys are doing, but it is a very fun car that the FSR guys have produced. We thank them for letting us use their 2011 mod, I believe it is, for this this series. Proving to produce quite the entertainment for spectators at home.
Yes, and the series has been, well, up to this race, very well supported. And we've had some excellent racing strategies play out in the races. It's really like playing a really high-risk, high-speed game of chess with guys on different strategies and racing hard with each other, and you know, it makes for the complete package is mod. It gives you so much scope between tire choices and fuel and all the other settings within the mod that you can use. Oh, Chrissy Hack has just lost it.
Ooh, yeah, he's lost it within one of the tighter sections. I believe that's Sector 3 he's lost it in.
Yeah, he's recovered. He did very well to keep it out of the wall there. As I mentioned earlier, he's got such a level head, and you know, that's not going to upset him at all. He did very well. He's got a bit of oversteer coming out of that turn, out of the left-hander, but he held it off the wall, kept his head, and he set off again. I'm sure he'll be back up to speed by next lap.
Going to look space time. Looking back a minute as we'll watch this unfold in replay. Still a couple of turns to go for this replay. Got nothing better to do, so. Oh, he caught a little he got a little too much curb on the chicane, just flat spun it, and just looks to be, you know, a little too much curb. Got the car upset, and it did not like that.
Yeah, a little oversteer. You know, these cars are so. I did some. As a matter of fact, I did some laps on this track yesterday evening with Chris, using his setup. He's got a great setup together, and but the car is on such a nice edge that if you just bite a little bit more curb than it's necessary, you know, the suspension can't handle it, and it does tend to send you around.
Very much so. Just Bayless resets fast lap, minute 32.
Oh! Pardon me. Kevin Ransom just had a big slide and took his front wing off.
Ooh, that's not good. That's his second incident of the afternoon.
Yeah, which is a pity because he was really closing Paolo Neto down, and I expected to see a nice race between them.
Yeah, I had a was going all right after recovering from his initial incident. Now it's gone a bit awry for him again. Second time he's done some damage to his car, this time front wing, and that's going to be very difficult to handle getting back to the pits. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, it's this time with the Grand Prix when your eyes start glazing over a little, especially if you're not running in traffic. And we see now Chrissy Hack and Kevin making mistakes, which aren't usual for them to make.
Yeah, loses it within the same general area as Chris Hack did, but a little further up the road, down on the bridge, just got it squirrely and knocked it off.
David Carney's doing his last stop, which I suspect is his last stop with 11 laps to go.
Yep, very much so. He's probably getting set. Just goes one lap down, but he's going to be set to go to the end on the tires.
He is. I expect Tristan to do a splash and dash toward the end.
Yep, so we're basically waiting on... We may be waiting on Tristan. We may not be. We'll have to see. I'd have to think Heinz would actually... Oh, go ahead.
Pardon me, sorry. Yeah, Heinz kept the gap to Tristan at 39 seconds. And, you know, unless Tristan makes a mistake, I don't think Heinz will be able to close that at all, even if Tristan does have to stop again.
Yeah, but you never know with the way things have been going. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if something strange were to happen and force Christian to blow up before his pit
Anything
stop.
can happen. Anything can happen in racing, as you know.
Very much so.
But Tristan's as close as you can get to a machine. So
Maybe.
it's less likely, let me put it that way.
Yeah, it's not very likely for Tristan. Hey, you never know. He might know some guys very well. I don't know where I was going for that joke, but I digress. Probably some top tier reference. Who's under that helmet?
The top tier guys were actually, I was in South Africa. I came back from South Africa on Wednesday, And last weekend the Top Gear guys were in a city called Durban. They did a big spectacular in Durban, South Africa.
Oh, really? Isn't that the one where they tried to do the double loop-de-loop trick?
Yeah, the 720, they did the 720, they managed that. Thankfully nobody was hurt. And it looked like a lot of fun. A lot of my friends went up for it, but being my last weekend in Cape Town, I opted not to go and join in the fun.
Oh, well, but it's your last weekend. You might as well just tear up the town.
Yeah, but it's a 2-hour flight and 2-hour back, and I really just didn't want to sit on the airplane on my last weekend in South Africa for the year.
Ah, gotcha.
Well, Chris Hack is in a solid 4th place over here. He has a lap on Sebastian and Anthony.
Yep, doing pretty good so far, and maybe, well, he's a ways back behind David Carney, but good run so far for Chris Hack in the closing stages of the race.
Yeah, I noticed Chris Hack in the V8 mod that they were running, also the Pro Series, in the V8 mod early on in the year, and I signed him to join Aeronam Racing, and he's unbelievable racer.
Polo Neto has crashed. Sorry to interrupt you, Steve, but it looks like Polo Neto's spun it around.
Well, that's big news.
Yeah,
Yeah, he seems to have his car intact though.
Yeah, I just happened to notice the yellow light come on, so I went looking and found Polo. So sorry to interrupt your little story right there. Yeah, like you say, seems to be okay. We'll take a look at it in replay, and I'll let you get back to Chris Hack.
Yeah, Paolo seems to be fine, and settling in again. He's back up to speed, it looks like. But it's this time with the Grand Prix, 13 laps to go. You've been racing around here for 47 laps, and the better part of, well, coming on to 2 hours in the car now since qualifying. Your concentration levels seem to dip a bit, and some of these guys are racing in different time zones. I think Neto is from South Africa, and I seem to recall he has a South African badge next to his name. And if that's the case, we're talking that it's midnight there now. So it becomes difficult to keep those concentration levels up.
Yeah, very much so. And depending on his schedule, I mean, he could easily have been up for several hours beforehand. So this is a pretty late night of work for Polo Neto.
Absolutely, but he's a great painter and a great racer, and he's enjoying himself, and that's what it's about. First and foremost is the enjoyment that you get from competing with guys from all around the world.
Indeed, not many places on around that you can hop into a race and be racing with pretty much anybody around the world in the same race. I know there's some other more popular options out there, but they pretty much limit you to your time zones. So you're not going to be able to hang out with somebody in Australia in the same race very often.
Yeah, the Race2Play offer is simply amazing. It's when I stumbled across Race2Play 3.5-4 years ago, I just couldn't believe it could be done, because I'm a little older than some of the guys over here and yourself, and I'm not as well versed in computers as the younger generations, and I was delighted to find out that you could actually race somebody in real time. And since I found that, being a racing enthusiast for most of my life, since a boy, the chance to be able to get into F1 simulator or stock car simulator is just, it's amazing to think about what's actually been accomplished here.
It is quite fun, and for a very nominal investment in the software and the racing wheel, I mean, you can be going around the world very much at Race2Play. One day you could be here in Singapore with the F1 cars, and then an hour later you can be in, what's it this week? You could be in California.
Valencia.
Oh yeah, Valencia, or California with the NASCAR series currently in Sonoma, I believe it is this week, and maybe the next day you could be in somewhere in Europe, say Spa, Belgium, in a Formula BMW. There's all kinds of stuff here at Race2Play. If you happen to stumble across this video, either watching it live or you're on YouTube, you want to check it out for yourself, just check it out. Race2Play.com is the place to go. 54 laps are complete. The yellow light is blinking on and off somewhere. Paulo Neto has actually spun again someplace, but he's done a bit more damage this time, and I don't see a front wing on that thing.
Yeah, he's due for a pit stop now, I see. He just has to nurse that car home. He only has a few laps left, and Kevin Ransom's actually going to overtake him for a position.
Yep, if he gets there quick enough, he can certainly get it done, with Paulo Neto being very vulnerable, but...
Well, Paulo's got a pit, and Kevin's only 3 seconds behind him.
Yep, they're just actually going to meet right here momentarily. Looking out the back of the Paulo Neto car, there's Kevin right there. Lets him go.
That gives you a great visual of what I've just said about Kevin Ransom. Very calculating and, you know, aware as well. He came up behind Paulo Neto, and you could see him slow down and make a decision. What's Paulo doing, and coming past, giving the, you know, minimizing the risk of going on the wrong side. He's a real good thinker and a great talent.
Very much so. I have to agree with everything right there, and don't want to make the wrong choice by not taking the time to think about it. Certainly don't want to compromise the run this late in the going. In the meantime, speaking of Race2Play, I was looking on the website earlier, Steve, and I happened to notice that Race2Play is getting very close to a very big milestone, getting close to the 10 million miles race mark. Very impressive what Tim McArthur and Tyler Weiss have done over the past several years, I would think.
Unbelievable. I mean, the offer, as I mentioned earlier, at Race2Play is, you know, anything. I think the motto is anytime, anywhere, or something like that. I forget what it is in real term, but, you know, it's amazing to think the offer they have on the table. And all the improvements, I don't know if you noticed the improvements improvements or changes they've made to the actual platform of the site of late, by adding the rep button and badges and, you know, extended stats over the years that we've been getting. It's truly amazing what data they're able to compile and put together, and that data is there for forever. I mean, you can go back and look at your first race you ever did, and lap by lap see your lap times you did.
Yes, it's all very, very detailed here at Race2Play. Unlike, you know, some leagues that you just show up to race and you pretty much only get your finishing positions from, you know, last season, if any. And you know, it's just, you know, the level of detail is immense.
Yeah, well, it's a professional outfit. I mean, it's a vision that they've had and put together, and they've done just so well. An incredible offer. Especially if you know, there are places for all leagues, and it's not only what works for one person doesn't work for the next. I like if I ever had to have my own league, I would run it. They have a window, where you can run your league within the Race2Play framework, and that's a logical choice for me. If I ever had to have a league, I'd have it right here.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, you know, you know, for a nominal fee. I mean, pretty much, Race2Play will help you set anything you want up. I mean, you know, they'll provide
Price of a couple of beers.
you know, a couple of beers or maybe a hamburger, and you can get going real quick. In the meantime, back on track, David Carney actually just spun it in the middle of Sector 2, I believe it is. Didn't hit anything, but had to put some excess heat into the tires. Just a couple of laps left to go in this event, and getting to the point where you're saying eyes start glazing and your mind starts to wander. It just takes one little slip and away you go.
Exactly, man. Especially when you're running by yourself. You know, we don't have a very big field today, so these guys, and it's difficult, as you know, with walls on either side. It does take a lot out of you. But it's great to see David back. I've raced with David a number of occasions. As I mentioned earlier, great campaigner, and it's great to see him back at it, especially in F1. He excels in open wheel racing, and he's a great competitor.
Very cool to have him here, and he's actually doing pretty good for himself. Just a couple of laps ago, he actually did set the fast lap of the race. Right now, that is at 1:32.570 compared to Christian, who's only done a 5:75, so very close in lap times. Just 2 laps of racing left to go for Christian. He's got a minute up on Heinz Petzold, hasn't had to stop, and so far seems to be coasting towards the victory.
Yes, I think after Heinz's spin, he probably took the position to consolidate his second and bring it home, especially maybe in the back of his mind, him and Darren share a room on TeamSpeak while they race, so he would have known of Darren's error, and he probably just took a decision to say, well, look, yeah, I've got second. Let's consolidate this and bring it home.
I would think very much so, because I believe in the pre-wish, as Tristan Bayless resets fast lap, been at 32.456. I believe in the team standings, Apex Predator is like 80-some-odd points over second place. The Need Seed Malice team that Tristan Bayless and Kevin Britton run in, and so pretty much they've got the team championship locked up, so...
But then again, it could change so quickly. If Kevin had been here for this race today and Darren went out, Tristan taking the win and Kevin just finishing elsewhere in the top 10, because that's where, you know, it's a small field, they would have substantially changed that championship position.
Quite possibly. They can gain 10 to 15 points real easy. We're on the last lap. Tristan Bayless currently working his way through the track. Just a couple of turns left to go. No threat from Heinz at all in the closing stages, unless Tristan somehow manages to plow this thing into the fence. I think he's got this well wrapped up.
Yeah, it's coming up Chris Hack. If I were Chris Hack, I would find a spot to safely get him past and not have to do another lap. But it seems like Chris is going to keep it down.
Yep, Chris is going to keep it going. In the meantime, Tristan Bayless comes around the final corner, takes the victory in the Grand Prix of Europe via Singapore. Total race time for him, 1 hour, 35 minutes and 38. 1:644 seconds. Chris Hack, I heard something just go smash. Wasn't Chris Hack, but something went boom. David Carney.
That was a great position, a great race by Tristan. I mean, awesome racing.
Very much so. David Carney locks himself into third. Total runtime hour 35:55. Sebastian Bork finishes 3 laps down. We're just waiting on Heinz to get through. Should have plenty of time to get to the end before the server goes crazy on us.
Yeah, Chris will be the last guy to cross, as he was the guy to finish just in front of, or just cross before Tristan, so...
Yep, so... just waiting on everybody to finish up. We will see possibly about getting Tristan in the booth. If not, we got Hines. Meanwhile, Tristan Bayless taking advantage of the opportunity. He's doing all kinds of donuts and stuff. Hines Petzold finally comes home, second place. Full minute, 8 seconds adrift. Meanwhile, Chris Hack works his way through the east underneath the grandstands for the final time. He's going to finish the last lap, as you've mentioned.
It's a pity Chris's teammate Marcel couldn't make it to the race today.
I'm sure you're pleased with this result. He comes home in fourth.
That's an excellent result, Iron Racing, for our team, and Chris has once again delivered the goods for us.
Very good result all the way around. Excellent run from all of the competitors. We'll see about getting a couple of these guys in the booth for some post-race interviews. But in the meantime, First Bayless says in chat, about to fall over, so tired. I would imagine after running around this place, it's pretty insane what these guys have managed to accomplish around this track. So in the meantime, let's see.
Yeah, I'm sure Chris will pop in for a chat.
As we switch tracks, go back to the track map, and I'm trying to think. I don't know. Should we kidnap Hines?
We can kidnap Hines. Well, let me pop down and have a chat with him first.
Okay, yeah, you go ahead and talk to him. In the meantime, I'll try to keep the seat warms for y'all. So in the meantime, very excellent run out of everybody. Gonna hop on Race2Play website. I probably pissed Tim off again with the TV car being stuck in the way. Have to manually edit the results out. He. We'll wait on Stephen Hines to get up here. Results aren't quite in yet. Well, it looks like everybody's off the server, so we'll go ahead and get off too. In the meantime, what stories could I come up with? Oh, look, there's Hines. Hi, Hines.
Hello.
How was your race this evening, good sir?
Not bad. I picked the wrong strategy. Tristan just blew me away with a 3-stopper. Decide whether to go for the 3-stopping softs or the 2-stopping mediums until just before the race. And it was only just before the race I decided I liked my setup enough just to stick to mediums and a 2-stopper, but Tristan too quick, and all grats to him on quickly destroying us.
Yeah, very quick. So I'm guessing in this case, just judging by your report, that you were on medium tires, and then you were also, and Tristan was possibly on the softs.
I reckon he was on softs and 3-stopping them. Yes, the softs we found would do 17 laps. Around 17 laps, so easy top tire. But I don't know why. Me and Darren and myself thought the 2-stopping medium strategy was a pretty good one. But Tristan proved us wrong.
Well, hey, I wouldn't feel too terribly bad about it. I mean, you still came home in a very solid second place, and slightly increased your lead on your teammates, who unfortunately went out due to an accident. But hey, it's
I almost joined them there halfway through.
Yeah, it's a very difficult circuit.
Lose concentration for a second, and you hit the barrier, and I lost my front nose, and Just hoped I didn't hit the rear too hard and damage the engine. Luckily it was just a corner. I was actually quite impressed with how the 2-stopper versus the 3-stopper was going at that point, because Tristan was only about after his second stop and before my second stop, 2.5 seconds in front of me at that point, and he wasn't gaining advantage that quickly. And I thought if I could get my final tires on and just nail it really hard in the end in my third stint, I might have a chance to have him push like a crazy person to catch me on his fourth set of tires, and hopefully get him to make a mistake. But I made the mistake first. Yeah, Darren was unfortunate. I don't know what happened at T1. I've got a very horrible smoke pile on my game, and I saw Mark Johnston braking hard and locking up, and all of a sudden my screen was just white. And I saw Mark go right, and then I saw another car spinning towards the left, and it was Darren, and quite chaotic. And luckily, I made it through there, but that gave David Carney. I've never raced this guy before, I don't think, and he used that to his advantage. It was pretty good. Got stuck behind him for a good few laps while I had a look at what he was doing, what lines he was taking, and then saw that he was struggling, so made a move, and that was that.
Well, pretty good, I would say. But in the end, still, Apex Predator Racing Team still got a stranglehold on the team standing, so I would imagine y'all are still pretty pleased with the result overall.
Yes, I probably I can confirm that, yes.
Roger, just making sure. All right, appreciate you, Heinz, coming home in second position. Let's turn the attention over to Chris Hack. I believe he finished in the fourth position for Aruna Racing. So welcome to the post race. How was the race from your perspective there, Chris?
Well, I was on the mediums like Heinz, but I just couldn't get any grip out of them early on. And then just when I thought I'd got the car sort of warmed up and everything, got a bit of an oversteer and my front wing off and damaged the suspension. Then after that it was a pretty long, lonely race, but you know, I made it to the end, which was the main thing.
Excellent. Good results, I would say, for everybody. Even with the short field, it was still pretty interesting watching the storylines develop. We also have Steve Taylor back here with us. Anything interesting you would like to add before we start getting off the air?
No, not at all. I would like to say to Heinz, his race with David Carney there was quite spectacular, and you could see him waiting and calculating for the right time to safely pass, and the pass was on the outside, if I recall. It was a great maneuver and great to watch. Good racing there. And other than that, no, thank you for having me in the room here today, Lynn. And I look forward to being on the track with these guys soon.
Very much so. Appreciate y'all letting me hang out here and taking up pretty much basically server space. In the meantime, I believe we are just about done. So unless anybody has any other comments they want to add, I believe we are... oh, go Heinz.
Thank you for the broadcast and
Yeah.
time again.
Not a problem, guys. I mean, it's either be up here or be down there making my best Milk Dunu impersonation, so I'm pretty sure then you wouldn't like me very much. Well, anyways, I believe that just about wraps it up for this evening. For Chris Hack, Heinz Petzel, Tristan Bayless, everybody else in the field, for Steve Taylor, Tim MacArthur, Todd Weiss at Race2Play, my name is Lynn Kinchlow. Thank you all for watching the Grand Prix of Europe via Singapore. We will see y'all next time. Whenever that may be. I don't know.